Hi, I'm Josh Cadillac, and welcome to my podcast, Know Your Shit. I've been blessed to see great success, as well as seeing the bottom up close and personal in 2008. And if there's one lesson I've learned, is that if you want to have success and differentiate yourself from everyone else out there, you need to know your shit. As a successful real estate and crypto investor and an educator, it drives me insane that people do not immerse themselves in their craft. Everyone is so busy advertising and testing new sales techniques, they forget the most important thing, the product. Here I want to talk to the folks that got this right, the most successful people in the world in every industry. Bring them to you and find out what they learned in their business that made it great. When you listen to my podcast, you will know for sure that the topics and experts we have on have one thing in common. They know their shit. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Know Your Shit podcast, where our knowledge and pride in what we do drives us to be excellent. My name is Josh Cadillac, and I'll be the driver's seat for today's show as we strive to learn how to stop doing deals and start closing for life. We got a great show for you today. And without further ado, let me introduce to you guys an amazing guest, the guy I met not too long ago, guys. And I'm so grateful to have met this man. He's a super cool guy, closed over $500 million in sales since 2014. Mr. Kunal Seth. Mr. Kunal Seth, it is good to have you on here, sir.
Josh, I'm super excited to be on the podcast with you. Know your shit. I first love that tagline. If you don't know your shit, I'm not sure what the hell you're doing.
Get the hell out. Yeah, absolutely. Stop faking it and get out of everybody's way that's actually trying to do it for real. 100%, my friend. So, Kunal, maybe let me start off by asking you, to tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of like where did all of this start for you? What was the genesis of Kunal?
Happy to share with you. So I'm originally from India, came to US about 20 years back, came here to go to grad school, got my master's. Moved to Houston 2003 to work in corporate America. My first job was with a consulting company at Deloitte. They're a national global company that does a lot of consulting work, auditing work. Worked for them for about 6-7 years. Then I transitioned to work for an oil and gas company. Being in Houston, Texas, if you're here, you gotta be in oil and gas. So worked for a company called Transocean. It's an offshore drilling company. They own oil rigs all over the world. So I worked for them and I would go to these rigs all over the world, Josh. I would go to Angola, Nigeria, India, Middle East, Scotland, Norway, and travel for a month, be gone for a month and come back to Houston, get 1 month off, off schedule. I'm the kind of person, Josh, I don't like to sit around and wait around. So while I was not working with Transocean, I was off schedule in Houston. I got my license in 2013 to be a realtor. Did real estate part-time for about 6-7 months, and I absolutely loved it. October 2013, put my 2-week notice, quit corporate America, and dove into real estate full-time. Thankfully for me, my business partner, his name is Seth. We made a real estate team. Now, he's actually my brother-in-law, married to my sister, born and raised in Boston, 20 plus years in the business. And Sonnet and my last name, just a coincidence, is the same last name, Seth, S-E-T-H. So when we made the team, we said, Seth, brother-in-law, does not have that ring to it. Let's call ourselves the Seth Brothers team. So 2014, the team was born. And our inspiration, Josh, was a show on HGTV called Property Brothers that inspired us. We made the team's name the Seth Brothers team. And over the years, we've had a lot of success in the Houston market. We've closed over $500 million in sales volume. Just last year, 2021, our team did over 150 million sales volume. We closed over 300 units. So we do a lot of production business and success. And I can share with you later on the podcast what a secret sauce is and what I'm doing really well and what my lessons learned have been for all these years.
Fantastic, man. That's great stuff. It's great stuff. I mean, it's always wonderful when somebody finds kind of the thing they were made to do. Like when you see a tool being used properly, it's kind of how I think about human beings. Like we got to figure out what we're built for. What kind of am I a race car? Am I a pickup truck? What am I? And if I'm a pickup truck, then man, I got to be I got to be going to Home Depot every day because that's what does it. That's what I'm here to do, right? So that's awesome. What is it? What is it that you think gives you the edge in real estate? What is it that you think makes this your thing?
So Josh, for me, I fundamentally have certain philosophies in life which make me drive for excellence on a daily basis. One of my core philosophies is having a first generation mindset. For me, first generation mindset, Josh, is being the first one in your family to do something, first one to go to college, first one to be an entrepreneur, first one to come to America. And I believe that this country, US, is a country of opportunity. We all have same or similar opportunities. It's what you make of it. So when I reflect back what I came with to US, what mindset I had, and where I'm at today, failure is not an option. Failure is an opportunity for me to get better. So when I wake up every morning, what I accomplished yesterday, my success for last week is history. But I take nothing for granted, which is what first generation mindset is all about. And I strive for excellence no matter what. So I'm not the kind of person who reaches certain level of success. I got it now. Let me take it easy or take a back seat. I got it here now. Now what do I need to do? Go to next level, next level, next level. So the ongoing drive and hunger to be successful gets me motivated every day. I also believe we all should all have a vision, and we all must have goals. My vision, Josh, is to leave a legacy for my kids. I have two young boys. They're 6 and 7. And guess what? They're the real Seth brothers. They are the actual brothers, right?
Love it.
And they're younger kids, but I want to instill certain values in them, not give them things for granted, make them earn their living, make them earn their right to be successful. But my vision is that I want to leave a legacy for my family and kids so that tomorrow, when I'm gone, in 10, 20, 50, 100 years, people remember there was this Kunal Seth in the Texas market who impacted the real estate industry in a big way. And here's what his contributions are impacting a community even after I'm gone. So that's my long-term vision. And I'm striving for that on a daily basis.
I love it, man. Absolutely. Doing things that are bigger than ourselves. I'm not a big saying. There's a handful of sayings that I hang on to, but I have one taped to my computer desk that says, societies grow rich when old men plant trees whose shade they know they'll never sit in. The idea that we do the right thing, the good thing, regardless of whether it benefits us or not, because it's the good thing, because it's the right thing, because it leaves an impact even long after we're gone. So I love that. That's a great mindset. And it's a great why behind what you do. It's a great reason. But the thing that I was struck with when I was on your podcast and listening to you talk about it was there's this overwhelming sense of appreciation and gratitude for the opportunities that exist, and not taking them for granted and acting like they're due to you. And I think that's very much in keeping with that mindset that you're talking about, is this idea of deep appreciation for the opportunities that are out there.
100%. And it starts out with, all of us, whether you are first, second, third, fourth, or fifth, or 10th generation, somebody in your family came to America, unless you were Native American, whether you came from Europe, Africa, Australia, you are an immigrant, and it happened at some point in time in your family. And when you come to this country and when you're just new, you'll do whatever it takes to find employment, to earn a living, and do all those things. Today, when I'm driving down the freeway or highway and I see these people, by the side of the road, and they have this sign that says, "Why lie? Give me $1. I want to buy a beer," right? And people find it humorous and give them $1. What you're saying is it's okay to be lazy. It's okay to sit on the side of the road and ask for $1 or money. Now, there are some people who truly need help. They're homeless people, but the ones who do not need, sitting over there. And the other times I see them with, big cup of Coke or soda with a big sandwich. Well, if you really do not have money, go to Walmart, go to a grocery store, buy some bread, buy some PBJ, peanut butter jelly, and eat that. It's not that you want the money to have your lifestyle, but you don't want to work hard because things are given to you on a platter. This is where I get reminded that nothing can be taken for granted. And the ones who take it for granted, they go so far and they fall, and then they cannot pick themselves up again.
Sure. And one of the ideas that's always struck me about this thing is where we grow from, right? We don't grow from times when things are easy. We grow from the things when they're hard. I shared with you on your podcast a couple of stories of things and jobs that my father had me do where it was outrageously like, hey, I want you to work 20 hours straight with no sleep and very little food. And I come out of those things, though, maybe mad that it happened and all sorts of things, but I grew from that experience. I know. And I learned this from working for my dad, that I could work a crew of as a young guy, I could work a crew of grown men into the ground, have them come back the next day, and I'd still be there and hadn't gone to sleep yet. And I wasn't going to die. I still have all my fingers and toes, like it was hard, but you kind of learn to, as they say, embrace the suck a little bit.
Right.
I'm doing the thing right now that other people are afraid to do. They won't do. And this is where I earn my success, sort of. And so in listening to that, I think that very much ties in with what you're saying, which is people use discomfort as an excuse not to move forward. Whereas discomfort is something that you have to recognize is the path to growth. It's gotta hurt to get better. And so I think the thing that's most troubling to me maybe is seeing people, smart people, capable, they're just people. Who cares? They could have an impact on society whose impact is squandered because they bought into ideas that because they look a certain way or they talk a certain way or whatever, that they can't get ahead. And the biggest loser is not it's them for buying into it, but it's society in general, because society is deprived of whatever they could be. And so, that to me is the tragic consequence of the idea of not embracing this idea that every day is a beautiful opportunity to embrace whatever life throws at you and to accomplish something excellent, something great, to do the great thing. I don't know if that ties in as I think it does, but it feels like it does.
It does, Josh. And most people want to fit with other people. When you're in school, high school, middle school, fit with the right popular kids. People want to join tribes. I truly believe find your talent, find your mission, and build your tribe.
Yeah.
And those people are followers. And it's okay to follow. You don't have to be leading at all times, but you must know your skills. You must know about your passions and drivers. And everyone has it. Some people are passionate about, race car driving, about drinking, about partying, or about being around family, whatever it may be. That driver can be a reason why you wake up every morning. That could be the reason why you're successful today. But most people just go into 9 to 5 routine, they do a job and check in, check out, check in, check out. And when shit hits the fan, they have no clue how to get out of that problem. We've been dealing with COVID-19 last few years. We're almost out of it now. But people who had no game plan, no self clarity of what their skills or talent are, they would depend on the employer to keep them employed. But if they said, sorry, we're going to take a break and have a nice day for next few months or next 1 year, we don't have employment opportunity for you. They are sitting in the backseat. They're not in control. So knowing your shit, what your podcast is about, I love what tagline is, because unless you do not know your shit, which is, you got to know yourself first. Who am I?
Absolutely.
And then putting yourself in a position of success based on your talent, based on the avenue that you create for yourself.
Well, I think that, and that's one of the things when I coach, when I teach, one of the first things we talk about is you got to pop you out of you to take an assessment of you. Because here's the good news. You're the CEO of your corporation, but guess what? Guess what the staff of your corporation is? You. How good are you at getting out of you what you need you to do? Most people lose the battle to themselves all day, every day. Most people, and I think it ties in exactly what you just said, most people live their lives as in the passenger seat of their own life. They just kind of, where are we going today? And it's time at some point, if you want to have the kind of life you can be proud of, you need to at some point take over the role of directing which way you go, because otherwise you're just a byproduct of chaos. And even if you somehow stumbled on success, you're not the one that got you there. Fate got you there, right? As opposed to some sort of effort and really taking into account what and who you are and what you're here to do. As you said, those talents, those skills, assessing that, taking that step back and saying, hey, look, what am I working with here? And how can I get the most out of it? Because at the end of the day, and to my way of thinking, nobody wins bigger by you figuring out you than you. If you
Correct.
can get a handle on you, who wins more than that? And beyond that, the next group of people that wins most are all the people you care about. So if you won't do it for you, maybe you'll do it for them, because they all get to hang out with somebody, some better version of you. I mean, look, you're stuck with a better version of you if you work on you. Even if you're on a desert island, at least the conversation you have when you talk to yourself is going to be better, right? I mean, it's a win across the board. And so why people, it's an addiction, really. As I think about it right now, and I haven't really thought about it this way until we're talking about it right now, it is an addiction to comfort that people have. It very much is, regardless of the socioeconomic level, they'll complain about it. They'll not like it, but it's not quite enough discomfort for them actually to take proactive action to change it. And that's because there's just enough comfort there that they're willing to maintain the status quo. And the idea that first generation mindset of somebody that comes over here and says, I mean, look, just the guts to leave everything and come someplace else and say, let's start. That's something special. That's something special. Kunal, I don't know that I got that in me. I mean, I think I'm a hustler. I'm thinking I'm a guy that's going to go out there. I'll work anybody into the ground. I'm not concerned about it. You know, that you don't have to worry about me. I'll still be there. But man, the guts it takes to do that. What drove you at the beginning? I'm just curious. What made you make the decision? I'm out of here.
From leaving corporate America or coming to US?
Coming to the US. Or
coming to US.
Leaving where you were.
I was 19 years old, and I knew the opportunity that I had being in India. A certain path of success, you're either a doctor or you're an engineer. Certain fields are most respected where they are pushed forward. Now, I have a certain level of IQ, but I'm not an intelligent person who get all the A's. And I knew where I can land myself in America. It's in India. It's very competitive. But I knew for a fact that if I come to US, I have the world of opportunity to make a career that I want to make and pursue those. So coming to US was a step forward. Let's leave behind my history of being the kind of person I was. Let me start afresh. But once I landed over here, it was about, I made it over here. This is day one, but everything is in my control. I'm going to do whatever it takes to find success for myself. What my parents did for me, what they gave me, the support, thank you, but no thank you. If I'm going to make a name for myself, I'm going to do whatever it takes. So when I was new, Josh, I went to LSU. I used to live off campus. It was a few miles away from camp. I would walk to school every day, walk back home every day. When I came to US, Josh, my parents actually gave me $15,000 for tuition fee, lodging, all those things. I kept the money in the bank, did not touch a penny of that, because as an international student, Josh, when you come over here, I had to work multiple jobs to get assistantship, to pay for the lodging, pay for the tuition fee. And what if next semester I don't have an assistantship? I want to be able to tap into those reserves. So I didn't touch the money, walk to school, walk back, let alone eating out. I didn't even go to a fast food place for 2 years. Save, save, save. Now graduated, got a job with Deloitte. Took all the money, gave the money back to my parents, not because they asked for it, but because I don't need it. Think of this, LSU is considered party campus. Having $15,000 when you're 20-year-old, you'd be buying the nicest car, apartment. So it all starts with how disciplined you are when you have money, not when you do not have money. Most people get disciplined because they have a choice. I'm broke, I gotta save money. But the people who are successful, they're money wise when they have money. The other thing, as we're talking about being comfortable, most people are comfortable being comfortable. I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. If I'm not uncomfortable, that means I'm stagnant. I'm just staying where I'm at. I make myself uncomfortable, challenge myself, whether it's a speaking engagement, getting on stage, or talking to people. I gotta do it because life is a practice run. And when I'm done, in how many years, that'll be the end of my movie. But every day I'm doing stage rehearsal for the final day. But when the final day comes, there'll be no movie to be made. My movie is being made right now.
Love it, man. I say to people all the time, you know, there's only so much sand on the top of the hourglass and it's moving only one direction. And I'm responsible for what those grains look like. I realize which way the handwriting's on the wall. I know where this is. I know what this is going to be. I just don't know when the end's coming, but it's coming. So between now and then, it's up to me to do as much with what I got as what I can. And I think I completely agree. Couldn't agree more. So let me ask you this question. If there's something that you learned along the way, it sounded like most of the stuff that you landed here and you had this that mindset of I'm hungry, I'm going to go get it, I'm going to go make it happen. But along the way, you had to pick some things up. Was there something somebody said, something that really was a game changer for you?
Sure. So not necessarily somebody said to me, what I realized was to be successful, you got to have the right people in your tribe. But when you build your tribe, most people find people like them to join the tribe. So I'm a go-getter. I like people like them. But if you want to be successful, I know about my weaknesses and shortcoming clearly. And I know about my strength. I build on my strengths, but where I'm not good at, I find resources who complement them and have them in my close proximity. So my business partner is complete opposite of mine. Very systematic, very detail oriented, risk averse, and he's very patient, very patient. Now I'm completely impatient. Like this end of the spectrum, I'm on 99 DI, this profile, and he's
I'm
high SC. So when you're that kind of yin yang setup, I appreciate the balance he brings to me. So what I've learned is, back in the day when I was in corporate America, I did not know my drivers. I did not know about my disc profile. And I just would challenge things because I like challenging things. Why are we doing this way? Why not that way? What about this? What about that? But in corporate America, you got to follow the rules. Just do your job over and over again, and then you climb the corporate ladder. I was not successful in corporate America. So one thing, if I reflect back and think about it, I wish I knew more about myself back then, because I could pivot and adjust my communication style, my leadership style, my work style based on what I was bringing to the table and how I was being perceived. Now that I know about this profile, it's my blueprint. I know how to communicate effectively with my clients, with my team members, with my spouse, with my parents. And that skill is one of my secret sauces. And I wish I had that before.
sure. No, that again, and I don't know, like I talk to people a lot about it. I say to them, if I was to ask you right now, if you got yourself figured out, most people are like, yeah, I got a pretty good handle on myself. I said, well, let me ask you a question. If I asked you 10 years ago if you had a handle on yourself, what would you say? Oh, yeah. Now, looking back now, did you know yourself back then? Everybody's like, oh, no, man, I had no clue. This life is this constant process of figuring ourselves out and kind of this self-revelation, if you will, of more and more about us. I mean, like, I do think I have a pretty good handle on myself because I try to be really introspective, because I realize my biggest adversary is that person looking back at me in the mirror every morning. I got to make sure to keep it, as you said, stay uncomfortable. I know if I'm uncomfortable, it makes me do more. It makes me more productive. One of the big things I talk to people about is the idea of goals. Why do we set goals? Why do successful people make goals? Well, the reason why is they understand that they need to manipulate themselves. Because a goal is literally saying, hey, look, I could just say I'm going to do this. But if I make it a goal, I'll actually get myself to work harder to actually go, this is you trying to get you to do more out of you somehow, because you can't get you to do it on the natural. Do you realize schizophrenic the human interaction really is? We really do have this managerial job of managing ourselves. That's a real serious, one of the most important jobs you're going to have in your life, because the reality of it is we kind of have this angel and demon situation, devil going on with us, where, sometimes we do good and sometimes the package of double stuffed Oreos disappears from the cupboard. I don't know how it happened. Right. And, like, how do you win those battles? And I think that if you're doing what you're saying, what you're talking about is this idea of the self-discovery, so that you can slowly or quickly even start winning more of these battles, start setting up a precedent of being the type of person that wins the battles with themselves. If I set myself out to do a thing, I'm the kind of person that does that thing. And it takes time, and it takes success, building on success and starting to win those battles. That's what when I train people, I say, hey, look, we got to set the kind of goals that we can start making here, because we got to be the kind of people that achieve our goals. That's who we are now. We're something different. We're not that person that's the loser or all the things. No, forget that garbage. Right now, we're going to be winners. And so how do we start winning? What does that look like? Right. And so I think that ties in with what you're saying there. Seems to make a lot of sense to me, at least. But what do you think the thing is? If you could pick one thing, what is the thing that makes you most passionate about what you do?
So it's about, some people are self-driven. Some people need external forces to get them going on a daily basis, whether it's motivational talk, speech, podcast, whatever it may be. I was born with batteries included, and I love people who come with batteries included. And the ones who don't, constant pushing them, whether it's my team members, clients, I can push them so far. I have so much energy to push them. But when someone's self-driven, all I can do is pivot them, navigate them, 1 degree here, 1 degree there, and get them to next level of success. So my secret sauce is I'm self-driven, self-motivated. Nobody has to tell me, Kunal, wake up and do this and do that for yourself, for your team. I'm fired up 24/7. And I tell people, if you're not doing it for yourself, why is somebody else going to do it for you? When you hire somebody to talk to you every day or every other day, once a week, to push you, motivate you, but what if that person's gone tomorrow? Are you going to be just sitting on not doing a whole lot? No, I believe in being coached, mentored. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
We all need coaches. I have multiple coaches that I've hired, but somebody who needs an external force to motivate you, something is missing. Maybe what you're doing is not something that you want to do. Find something that you're passionate about and do that on a daily basis. I was on a Zoom coaching call with one of my team members last week, and she said, you know what, I'm running all the time, getting burnt out as a realtor. I said, what do you like to do, Kara? And she said, you know, I love to be in the outdoors. I said, okay, when was the last time in the outdoors? Well, a month back or so, me and her husband went for a camping trip. I said, great. What else have you done? Well, not a whole lot. I mean, do you go for walks? Well, it's been a while. Okay, so would you like going for walks? Yes. I said, when was the last time you went? It's been about 2 or 3 weeks. Well, why don't you do this starting tomorrow, every day for the next 10 days, take 30 minutes either in the morning or evening, you but must go for a walk with your dog, with your spouse, whoever, and just unplug and do that consistently. You know what? That time spent with yourself that you're passionate and love about, rest of the time, rest of the day will go in a much better state of mind.
Absolutely.
What you love doing, it has to be a priority. And that's why when you do those things, you get self-motivated. I love doing this. Somebody likes playing poker. Well, that's your passion. Nobody has to tell you to be at the casino to play poker if passionate about it. So figuring out your passion and putting that somewhat as a driver for you every day makes people do things that they're not comfortable about.
Absolutely. And I think that that's kind of the idea that what you enjoy. When people listen to people like you and me, that genuinely we push. I mean, let's be honest, we push. Like, well, why can't we get 10 meetings in one day done? Just because nobody else has only done 8, I'm not them. But if we just skip lunch, if I don't eat and I don't take any breaks, I can make it fit, right? I mean, like, why can't it be done? And so they think that we're miserable, right? Because all we do is we kind of just try to figure out how to squeeze more out. And the reality of it is, no, we take and we work hard so that we can enjoy the other parts of life more fully. I can take and completely unplug from my work because, you know what? I know my work was done well. I know that I have left work that I'm proud of, that I can now move on to the other parts of my life that I work just as hard in, to be proud of those. And I say work, but I work to make sure that I enjoy. And what that means is when I unplug hard. You know, I'm going to be fully unplugged as best I can because I need to not just work well, but I need to rest well as well. And so embracing the fact that life is this whole thing, it's not all work, because there is the other extreme, which I think probably you and I run the bloody edge of sometimes, which is, you know, this is our thing. This is where our pride comes. This is what we're great at. And it's keeping that whole thing in balance. I mean, I've been called out a couple of times on it, but, you know, like you go on a cruise and you plan out what everybody's going to do and you make sure everybody's got table seats and reservations and all this kind of stuff. Like, when do you take a step back? So, you know, I do, as you said, the coaches, sometimes I need weird kinds of coaching. The good folks that I work with, Two Market Media folks. I mean, I was so great. Kunal, I'm going to tell you what, the first time I got notes back from them on something that I did, and there was a whole bunch of things they wanted me to do differently. I was so grateful because it had been 10 years since somebody had sit there and been able to knock anything I do, because I really try to do all my stuff so it's beyond reproach. And so having somebody look at it and say, hey, look, this, I was like, this is great. I can get better. This is amazing. And I think there's so much value to that. And so, yeah, having those, whatever you do, whatever it is, having somebody that's got an outside perspective to look in and say, hey, you do realize you're a little nuts about this thing, right? You maybe want to do it a little bit differently. It's invaluable. It's refreshing. It's good stuff.
Gosh, whereas most people want people to come be around them who are yes man, or, you know, yes to everything. But you need someone in your life who's going to challenge you, call your bullshit out and say, you know what, listen, I see what you're doing, but here's what you could be doing better, or being objective about that. This is where, when I excel every day. When I meet with people, I speak with no consideration. I don't care what's going on. If you tell me a situation, I'll tell you exactly what you should be doing. Not thinking, oh, you know what, you had a bad week, or you had a contract cancellation. It does not matter what happened. If you give me a problem, I'll tell you exactly what to do. And then half of them who take my feedback and run with it, they get to next level. The ones say, no, why is he being so critical? He didn't say, congratulations, great job on it last week. Last week is history. Good job. Let's move on. You came to me with a problem. Let me tell you what you need to do to get to the next level. So surrounding yourself with people who are objective, and don't just say, yes, great job, everything that you would do, getting a participation trophy. Find a company, find someone, like for us, it's 2MM company. They're objective about what we do on a daily basis and give us feedback that makes us better. We don't say, oh, come on, Steve, come on, Hank, at least give me some validation and love what I did good. Who cares?
No.
better. Tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Absolutely. That's the only way for me to improve. I just want excellence. And whatever I got to do to get there, let's get rid of all the BS and go for it. Full bore, no excuses, absolutely no regrets, right? Just that constant pursuit of the best we can be, because at the end of the day, everybody that deals with us is better for it. Everybody that loves us is better for it. And we're better for it. It's a win across the board.
Hey, Josh, I meet is my office. It says, if you are not on Forbes, get back to work.
I love it. I see that. I see it. I couldn't read the whole thing. That's great.
Every day I look, I'm on Forbes. No, I'm not. But if I'm not on Forbes, guess what I'm doing? Get back to work.
Get back after it, man.
That's the part I said.
Okay, that's right. And if you get the Forbes, you know what's going to happen? The sign's going to change and we'll find something bigger and better to go for. That's right. You know what? As long as I'm still wearing my spurs, I'm going to ride this horse into the ground. You got it, man. 100%. So maybe a little bit of a change of pace, maybe kind of a 10,000 foot view of kind of what you've done, what you've accomplished so far. What in all of the things you've done, tons of awards, you well recognized. What are you most proud of? What is the thing that if you said if there was one thing that I want to point to that, you know, that really meant something to me, what would it be?
So not necessarily proud of, but I can share a winning strategy, which listeners tonight can adapt or learn from, which is where most business owners target customer acquisition, which is you're a business owner, let me acquire a customer to get some win. My strategy is more B2B, business to business strategy. So when I was a brand new age in 2014, Houston has 50, 60,000 realtors. We all chase a deal, a home seller, a buyer. I chase business partnership with developers and builders. And there are a few of them in the Texas market who build custom homes, semi-custom home and production homes. So I had to get preferred status from them, which means if a buyer goes into a sales office, says, I want to buy a home, I have a home to sell, and not working with the realtor, they would say, call the Seth Brothers team. Now that's a status you get over years and years of demonstrating value in the market. And when I evaluate all the top brokers in Houston, there were 6, 7 of them. They all have preferred status with different builders. And first year in the business, 2014, I said, this year, the top selling master plan community in Houston is Riverstone. And that was #1 in Texas, #5 in the country. That was a top award, right? I said, I'm going to go in there and get the award for top selling team for new construction home in this community. I worked tirelessly 24/7, applied a strategy every Saturday, Sunday, doing open houses, marketing, branding. And at year end, I got recognized top selling team in that community. Next year, more and more and more. But in year and a half, Taylor Morrison Home, Darling Home, and a few other builders recognized my team as a preferred business partner. Now, with that B2B business partnership that was established many, many years back, even today, I get called or referrals that, hey, Kunal, I have a buyer over here. They're looking to sell a home, have a home to buy, and I want you to put you on the deal. And that's, referral business coming to me. So as a business owner, you got to think big. Think about business to business partnerships instead of chasing a transaction, chasing a closing, chasing a deal.
I have a very similar but different view of it. From my view is to close the customer for life instead of closing the deal, because I don't want this. It's very much like when you go business to business, you want to take and close that customer because that customer is going to send you business. And it's the exact same thing for me. If a customer works for me, I should leave them an experience where they would never work with anybody else again. And that's what you have to do in the business. You have to leave them with this great taste in their mouth so that you're the one that like, hey, look, no, we need to use them. And that is awesome stuff.
You asked me about a win. I tell you one of my other winning strategies, Josh, which is, I have a philosophy where it's ready, fire, and then aim. Okay. Most people get ready, then aim, and then they fire. This is back in 2014 when I was relatively new business owner, new realtor, and I was at my Remax office. We had a breakfast lunch meeting, and we had about 150 people in the room. And a builder, custom builder, came to the office to do a presentation. I never heard of them, did not know who they were. So as he was speaking, I pulled up my laptop, did some research, and I figured out that he was building custom townhomes in my backyard where I used to live. Meeting ended, I went across the room, went straight to him. His name is Chris Sims, luxury builder in the Texas market. I said, Chris, my name is Kunal Seth. Here's who I am. Here's what we do. You know what? Here's how I can help your team get more success. Do you have 10 minutes for me right now? I can tell you exactly how I can help you get more success. I said, okay, sounds good, shared. Left with him, went to my office, sat down for the next 30 minutes, demonstrate value, He said, interesting. And I said certain things which piqued his interest. He said, okay, this was Tuesday. Thursday, can you meet at my project? Thursday, we met with him, demonstrated value. By Friday, he gave us multiple $1 million listings to list in the market, okay? While I'm confident about my skills and value proposition, I asked him once all done, Chris, there were 150 agents in the market. You've been here for 20 plus years, hundreds of realtors. I met you for the first time in less than 72 hours. You gave me all these $1 million listings. What was your key reasons to give me that opportunity? He said, Kunal, I've been to your office numerous times. I was there that day. You were the only person who had the courage to come and talk to me and ask me for a sale. And I said, yeah, I agree. And my thought process, Josh, is that I don't have his business. If I go talk to him, what's the worst that can happen? He'd say, get lost, young boy. I know who the hell you are.
Yep.
Good. But the best case is I at least got to know him. Even better, I got his business. So most people shy away from taking their shots because everyone wants to hit the bull's eye. And yes, you may hit the bullseye here or there, but taking at bat or at shots makes you a better shooter, a better advocate for your own value proposition. This is where I've been turned down numerous times. It's the wins that builds my confidence. You know what? What's the worst he can say? No, I don't care. So secret sauce is my secret weapon is, I fire all the time. I take chances all the time.
Gotta love it, man. I honestly was coaching somebody earlier today, and it was very much an aim situation. And I said, I want you to tape to your mirror, I am a man of action. I take action. So I decide, I think I need to be on Insta. So why don't you have an Instagram account? Why haven't you made the first 3 posts? Why isn't it done? What's going on? What's the problem? And you're absolutely right. This idea of, I can tell you this, I tell agents all the time, wherever I teach, I refer out all my buyers now. I don't have the bandwidth to work. I still work my listings, but I can't work the buyers anymore. I can't show property. So I always refer it out. In all the times that I've taught, I've had maybe 2 people ever come. So what do you do with your referrals? Maybe twice. Now, thousands and thousands of people, tens of thousands of people I've been in front of. 2 people had the guts to say, so, hey, what do you how many people have asked me? I mean, I talk about running my real estate investment fund and all the real estate that we own and all the deals that we do. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, super. 2 people have asked me out to take me out to a meal, to pick my brain. And man, I gave them the keys to the kingdom. And the guts, you know what? I know those 2 people are going to win because they're doing exactly what you said. They're doing the things that nobody has the guts to do. What's the worst that happens? You leave the bar alone. You were going home alone anyway. The best case scenario is you got some company. I mean, come on. How do you lose in this situation? You're already losing. Not doing anything is losing, right?
People hate rejection. People hate failure. I embrace failure. Failure is a lesson learned. I'm glad I failed and fell last year, 10 years back or 20 years back. Those lessons learned is what defines me today. The losses and wins from my business, from corporate America. That's who I am today. If you fear failing, you'll never try.
That's right.
If you try and fail, so what? Pick yourself up, learn what mistake you made, but just don't make the mistake again.
What's the Gretzky line? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And so that's where it's at, man. No, you got to go. You got to take and dig in and make it happen. All right. So we've looked at the past. We've looked at the present. I suppose the only thing left is the future, Kunal. What, sir, is next for you? What's the next? I know people like us always have a project. We always got something on the burner. Yes. What do you got in the burner, my friend?
Happy to share with you. So as a licensed realtor that runs an organization, I tell all my clients, hey, don't lease, buy. Don't lease, buy. And where I'm sitting right now, Josh, in Houston, Texas, I have a 7,000 square feet office. They've been leasing for the last 3 years, okay? But about 2.5 years back, I bought a parcel of land right off a very busy, active freeway. And I'm building a 22,000 square feet building in the Houston market. This building is going to be designed as an epicenter for energy, activity, and collaboration. And we broke ground 3-4 months back. The steel structure is already up. We'll be in a new space by September, October of this year. Now, that's a $10 million project. What I'm demonstrating in the market is that Kunal is on a shooting star who left corporate America, became a realtor. Listen, I'm putting a stake in the ground. This is my legacy in your face every day. And this freeway, Josh, in Texas, it's called Highway 59. It actually goes left to right of US US, across America. Millions of cars drive past it every day with my branding on it, with my name on it. You cannot not know me. So if you're known, you'll be liked. Some will like you, some will trust you, do business with you. But it takes a lot of effort, energy, and courage to take that step. It's towards leaving a legacy. So that's a big project I'm working on. So our vision is that will be our mothership or headquarter for us in the Houston market. Then we'll open smaller offices all throughout Houston, build a brand, and bring success to other people. So I'm all about collaborating. So in the space, we'll have multiple business partners, lender, home warranty, attorney, title company, insurance companies, photographers, because we are the hub and spoke concept. We bring in buyers. Now they need all these services. So when you're around me, I will train you, coach you, mentor you to get more success. So that's a big project I'm working on right now.
Love it, man. Love it. I love the idea of owning more real estate. I love being long in real estate. I'm a very big fan of that idea. And I wish when I train the agents that I train, that they were more into that idea before I get them, because when they come in, well, we don't know if it's a bubble or not.
Yeah.
Look, I'm watching all the other markets, my friend. It looks to me like the only safe haven left is real estate at this point. Right. It's the only place to run, and that capital's got to run someplace. So
right.
I'm glad to see you getting along. And all I can say to you, my friend, is congratulations. I couldn't wish you more success than I do. Proud of you, man. Proud that you made it like that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so I suppose we've kind of covered it all here. The last thing that's left is, if people want to find you, if they want to know more about the Seth Brothers, about Kunal, about the things that you're doing, where could they look and find you, my friend?
So my team is very active on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. On Facebook, my handle is Kunal Seth, or you can look up the Seth Brothers. On LinkedIn, it's Kunal Seth, and even on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter, it's Kunal Seth. So that's where I'm most active, but one place which is the most active would be Facebook.
Good stuff. Kunal, thank you so much for your time, sir. It is, as always, a tremendous pleasure to talk to you. And to everybody that listened to us, thank you so much. I encourage you always, know your shit. Nothing else will serve you better in this life.